Good morning and welcome to the show.
I already learned something new today.
What?
From your demonstration.
Demonstration.
That you very much so need this muscle to drink your coffee.
It's very true. You need the muscle that moves your upper lip up and down.
I'm practicing my coffee drinking muscle flexing.
It's true. Well, okay, so here's...
We were talking about growing a mustache yesterday, and I'm like, shit, did I play?
Who has played that game where you put the plastic thing in your mouth and you're like this? And then you have to try
I remember that we played it when we went to your friend's house.
And then you have to try to like say the sentence or the phrase on the card. Hilarious. Just drool is everywhere. So what I realized, because you guys care, I know, is that you actually need the bottom lip to help push the upper lip up to hold it there.
Okay, you guys.
So
you
if
guys
you
need to try because I'm gonna try this.
Grab your pencil and try this.
Oh, it's true.
Right? So then when you try to open your mouth to let any coffee in, you can't because you need the support of your bottom lip. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to.
That's how I was gonna turn around and do it facing that way. And then I was like, they'll probably think like, why is she doing it over there?
Okay, so the lesson in this is that everybody needs support. It really is like as soon as you open your mouth and let the bottom lip down, it's game over.
And the other lesson is that muscles are important for more than just working out.
We have a new challenge for you guys, and I would like to see a video of either any attempts or successful attempts of this game. This is going to go viral. This is what's going to get us on the Ellen show. This shit's going to go viral, and she's going to be like, what the fuck are they doing? And then she's going to be like, it's kind of funny and cool and totally something I would do. Let me get these girls on my show. So here is your challenge. You have to try to hold a pencil or a writing utensil of some kind.
I'll be right back. This is to support this challenge. I have an idea.
Okay, go.
Okay, you keep talking.
Okay, here's the challenge. You have to hold a writing utensil in your upper lip. For some people, that in itself is difficult already. Okay, so here, gosh, I'm gonna work on this in all my free time that I have. And then you have to drink from a open top, not like a straw, like an actual open mug, cup, whatever. It can be water, doesn't matter. And you just drop that. Anyways, that will be an amazing thing to watch. I'm just going to say the reason I'm struggling is because this is a thicker than average writing utensil, and we're going to go with that. So, Sarit has made it back to make full completion
okay, so
of...
now...
Hold on. To make full completion of the elements required for this challenge.
Tammy, can you please write down the elements? Or one of our
I
team
think
members?
Tammy's running. Lauren's here.
Okay. Tammy's running. She's like, hold on,
She's
let me stop and write.
She's probably listening, but she's also running.
Okay, but...
Okay, so get to it.
Did you talk about the elements of how to win this shit?
I talked about my part. You have to talk about your part.
Okay, so I want to give you guys an incentive.
And you have to, I thought you were going to say you have to wear.
No.
I want you to wear some kind of improve you gear. That's the other part of the challenge. The incentive Sarit has is what? More gear.
You are going to win this shit. Who wants this?
This actual shirt? Like this actual shirt. What if they don't fit in it?
Give it to someone.
Okay, here's the thing, though. This is why this is cool. This is Sarit's actual shirt that she's giving away.
Yeah, this is
isn't
my
just-
actual shirt. There's only 2 of them.
There's only 2 of these that exist in the world. 2 of these.
Yep.
So I don't care if you don't fit into it. It is Sarit's, and it has been on her body.
Uh-huh.
And
it's
will
clean.
get to have it.
I didn't sweat it in, and it's not stinky. It's like, if you've been wearing a shirt for a long time, and then it's like, you're like, shit, that shit stinks.
Now, don't be weird and use it as a pillowcase and sniff Sarit while you're sleeping. I'm gonna come punch you in the face. That's weird. But you know what? If it makes you happy, you know what?
It's a muscle tee.
That's awesome with a hood.
It's breathable
With a hood.
hoodie.
Who saw me wearing this during one of the first webinars? Dude, this is epic. Boom, boom. Let's go. Come on.
We are going to give this to you. Gift this to the winner of the mustache.
How do we
challenge.
determine the winner? We're just literally making this shit up right now.
Yeah, we are.
To the most clever video. Period.
Yes, the most creative
And
video of you actually not just attempting to drink it, but actually getting yourself
successfully.
Yeah.
Lip game. That's the lip game.
It's a game of effort and commitment and creativity.
Stacy. Oh, it's on. Oh my gosh. Emily, it would be cool to buy one of those, but there's only 2 of those that exist.
Yeah.
I own one and Sarit owns one, and she's about to give hers away.
Yep.
All right. So how about we get to the show? Oh, we're doing a show. Hello. I'm Erin. This is Sarit.
Hi.
We're doing Espresso with Erin and Sarit. All right. So today we are talking about the 4 domains of trust.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the second 2.
Yeah. So we had an episode 1.
Yeah.
So let's do a small recap.
Yeah.
And if you go to our YouTube channel, you can find the part 1 of this 2-part series. And what were the first 2 elements of trust? We're talking about relationships. This is in a relationship situation.
Yeah. Relationship of any kind, by the way. It doesn't have to be with a spouse, so it doesn't matter whether, single, married, divorced, whatever.
It could be family. It can be
family, coworkers, friends, anything.
Any relationship.
So could be with your dog too. It's all good, and you will probably figure out why your relationship with your dog is always great. So element number 1 is truth, because dogs don't lie, ever. Sometimes Boogie tells us that he didn't eat breakfast when he actually did. Does your dog speak too? Because our dog speaks to us.
The only lie Boogie tells is that he didn't already eat, so that he can get more food.
But other than that, he always tells us the truth. So you guys, the first element of trust with regards to your relationship is truth, because authenticity is so important, and we probably talked for 20 minutes and dissected authenticity when the first 2 segments of that 4-part series was discussed. But how can you trust somebody if they don't tell you the truth? It's impossible. So that's why truth is so important. Think about, for example, you're just starting to get to know one and to get to know somebody, and then they lie to you. You must have taken a step back, or something happened, right? But truth is really, really, really important. And I believe that when it comes to our relationship with you guys, if the first time that you guys saw us was on the internet, chances are is that you were probably gravitated to us because we were telling you the truth. You're like, whoa, they're speaking to my soul. What?
The only time most of them have seen us is on the internet.
True.
But, if the first thing you saw of us was lose 50 pounds in 1 month from drinking this thing. You'd be like, I don't trust you. Because that seems like a bunch of bullshit.
Did you just burp? Oh, you're censoring half your word then. Yeah, but chances are is that you probably came to this community because you're like, man, they're speaking the truth. And it's true. So
what we've heard from most of you guys is like there was a different element. Like some kind of realness. And that authenticity is our truth to you. And that truth builds trust. Okay, part number 2, or element domain number 2,
is acceptance
of
one another. Acceptance of the situation. Look, so for example, we were talking about remember like the concept of like girls who like way overdoing it with makeup.
Oh,
and
yeah.
how when there is lack of acceptance, that over time is going to hinder your level of authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
And acceptance also means agreement. Think about, let's say, the last time that you got into a conflict with somebody. Okay, it doesn't matter what was the case. There was a conflict, probably because there was disagreement. And then we were talking about the agreement challenge. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, acceptance is step 2. So, you have to feel as if the person that you're talking to is authentically speaking the truth. Step 1. And step 2 is you have to agree with them. And again, let's go back to when you met us for the first time on the internet. You're like, whoa, they're speaking the truth. And then you're like, okay, let me listen more. And then you're like, you know what? I agree with what they have to say because I experienced the same thing.
Yeah, so we're not saying you have to agree with everybody.
Or everything.
Or everything. It's quite the contrary in today's society, really. But what we are saying is that for a good, well-balanced, even two-way street, good relationship, there must be an agreement on the belief systems and things like that. So that's number 2. Today's episode is about 3 and 4. 3 and 4. 3 is what?
Reliance.
Reliance or like reliability?
Reliance.
Reliant. When I hear reliance, I know what you mean. When I hear the word reliance, I think of I'm relying on somebody else, I guess. I'm thinking I'm not taking ownership.
The ability to rely on someone. So for example,
being reliable.
So for example, let's go back to our relationship with you guys, right? So the first time you saw us on the internet, you're like, whoa, they're speaking the truth. I agree with what they have to say because I've experienced the same thing. So now you are putting your reliance on us with regards to your goals. True or false? You rely on us to help you achieve your health, fitness, and body composition goals. Okay, so we're taking it one step further, and it's like at first you're like, okay, I see them. Now it's like, okay, I dove in just a little bit. Let me experience this thing, right? So it's like, for example, and let's use the sake of like a relationship, like when you date someone.
I have the difference, just to clarify for everybody. Reliance versus reliability. It is one and the same, however, it's from a different point of view. Okay. Reliance is the dependence on or trust in someone or something. You are relying on or trusting in someone or something. So it's the other person. Reliability is within you. It is the quality of being trustworthy or of performing consistently well, where others can have reliance on you, basically. Oof. Right? So one is I can rely on you, the other is you can rely on me, and both are equally as important.
So you gotta have so reliability is a trait that, and reliance is the noun or the verb? Noun. No.
You just made it more confusing.
I just made it more confusing. Never mind.
Be reliable and be able to rely on.
Okay, so let's dissect this even more.
Okay, great.
Okay, so like
how exciting.
So with regards to, let's say, your guys' relationship with us, what makes us reliable? For one, I would say consistency.
We show up all the time.
We show up all the time, and when we ever say that we're gonna do something, we follow through. Okay, so like you're like 6:30, okay, they're gonna start the show. Maybe Boogie's gonna be there, maybe not. Boogie can get away with it, but we can't.
He's always here.
You know, and with regards to the challenge that's going on right now, every day 9:30, right? Like you rely on us to show up. True or false? Bing! So, you know, let's go to other relationships. Let's say your relationship with, one of my clients messaged me the other day, and she was talking about a conflict that she had with her daughter. And the conflict was due to the fact that she couldn't rely on her daughter. She asked her daughter to do something. She came home and she had expected her daughter to follow through, but her daughter didn't. So she got so freaking pissed and she needed to vent about it. So when you can't rely on somebody, we take it now one step back, because now there's a conflict.
So your element of trust decreases, and there's a difference between something happening one time and being out of character for that person, and something happening on a regular basis. All of this has to do with consistency. Except for all of this has to do with consistency, and once consistency is broken, so is trust. Mm-hmm. I remember we had a hurricane come through our community. We call it Hurricane J. Some of you know what we're talking about. But it takes a really long time to build trust. And I remember one of our interns, our assistant coaches, was like, trust is like a balloon. Like you put all this effort into blowing up the balloon, and then all it takes is like, and then poof, it's gone, just shattered, right? And so that's why consistency is huge.
Consistency is the most important.
It's like the umbrella over all of this.
Of anything.
Yeah.
Of anything. So like, for example, let's talk about an intimate relationship, be it like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever. That's why, let's say if somebody cheats, we get so upset. Like in my world, cheating is a non-negotiable. There's absolutely no tolerance, because then it's like when it comes to adding the spice of any relationship, I can now rely on you. And of course that is not the case with us. But
even we've had our moments though.
What?
We've had our moments in these where
we're,
we have to work through these kind of things, and we need to then open communication. That's the next thing, is like, I remember we did an episode on it too. There's an espresso for that. But there's been times where, like, you have your things that you work on, I have my things that I need to work on. Mm-hmm. And it's like, if it's something that happens on a regular basis, a level of like, versus a one-off that's outside of somebody's like normal routine or character is different, right? But when somebody's consistently like not showing up for their word or not following through with what they said they were going to do, you just can't trust them. Who's had friends like this? I had a friend like this, and it pissed me off so much. Finally, I was just like, I don't believe anything you say. I don't care. Like, yeah, I'll be there at 3. And then like 3:30 rolls around, and then 4, and then 4:30. It's like, are you on island time? Not on an island right now? And it just was like consistent, and I was just like, this is dumb. I'm never going. I then pull back, and I'm never going to like ask you to do anything. I'm never going to ask you to hang out. I'm never going to ask you because you've proven to me you are unreliable, right? I've totally had a friend like that.
Yeah, I'm sure that we all have experienced that. And I would say that, you know, you hear this concept of, oh, like trust issues. I used to have trust issues. I no longer do. So here's the thing. You have to prove yourself that you're reliable. However, I no longer have trust issues. And this is something that I've had a conversation with myself for quite some time now. But the reason why I no longer have trust issues is because you guys have seen, and we're saying it gratefully so, you know, like we're building our team and we're growing and we're so happy and grateful for that. But if I had trust issue, there's no way in hell that I'd be able to grow my team. However, I need a certain track record to understand that there is a level of reliability.
So you have trust issues until you don't. With an individual person?
No, it's just in general. Like, consistency proves to me reliance. In the past, I was skeptical about everything. Now I no longer am. It's just like, show me that you've been consistent. Okay.
Show me.
Show me.
Don't tell me.
Show me. So like, reliance, I think, is huge. But, you know, going back to this thing called trust issues, like I said, I would say up to about probably like a couple months ago, I had trust issues because I've been betrayed so many times in my life. And it goes back to, don't tell me, show me. So many people lack follow through. And this is when I'm going to call you guys out, because this is why people don't ever achieve the life that they want to live, because they lack follow through. If something happens that you know is undesirable for you or unfavorable, you're like, oh, this shit doesn't work. Okay, I'm just gonna give up. Oh, you know, when I started losing weight, you know, I was dropping weight at a rate of 2 pounds per week. Now I'm at a rate of 0.5 pound per week. Something must be wrong. No, this is how life works. It's a climb, it's a climb, it's a climb. You have to keep showing up. So what happens is that people lose consistency and people are unreliable. And remember this, wherever you go, there you are. And this is me calling myself out too. The only way for you to build trust within yourself is you have to be consistent. That is why, for those of you guys who've been working with us for quite some time and you've been successful, you know that there's no going back. Why? Because you build this thing called trust. How? You practice this thing called consistency.
It's following through with your word consistently.
Yeah.
Is how you build trust.
Trust with yourself, trust with anybody.
And we watch too, like, you know, anybody we invite on our team, we've watched. We watch how they show up for themselves. We watch how they show up for the community, unsolicited, unencouraged, but because they want to. And we watch how consistent they are with their self, with following through with the word they keep to themselves, with their own goals, with the actions they take on their own life, and how they show up to help other people.
Yeah.
Consistently. Over time.
Consistency is key. And then, you know, we're doing this challenge right now. And we told you guys this. 90% of people who start something, anything, are going to give up within 14 days. 10% are going to follow through past 14 days.
Yeah, we had how many people?
1% are going to follow through for a long period of time. You guys, it's obnoxious. And, you know, like, no wonder people have trust issues. It's like, if you can't follow through with something simple for 14 days, how the heck are you going to trust yourself? Now, if you don't trust yourself, there's no way in hell you're going to trust anybody else, because everything rises and falls on leadership. If you can't lead you, you can't lead anybody else. So this is where the problem starts. But it's really easy to blame someone, right? So I hope that this inspires you to be a little bit, you know, more just tougher on yourself. You know, a lot of times say give yourself some grace, but in this case it's like, no, dude, like, call your bitch ass out. Like, why are you not following through? People are designed to not follow through. You have to train yourself to start following through. And by the way, this is what makes this community and what we teach different. It's not that we're the smartest people in the room. It's because we inspire people to follow through when they want to give up. And that's what makes the difference. Let me get an amen, 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 amen.
Amen.
All right, so Reliance, it's key. We start dating, we're like, man, we're attracted to that person. We go on a date, we're like, man, we like what they have to say. We start dating, and then skeletons start coming out of the closet. Who are you texting out of nowhere? So now the spidey sense goes off. Because what happens is that there is now a new pattern, and you're like, that's strange. I feel like I can't really trust it. Reliance leads to trust. And then, you know, conflict arises, right? So we go one step back and we're like, I'm not sure if I'm accepting what they're doing, their core values, blah, 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 blah. Most people, especially you lesbians, you like to teeter-totter between step 2 and 3.
Well, I'm a little bit lost. What's step 2 and step 3?
The acceptance and reliance. Skeletons start coming out of the closet. Break up, get back together. Break up, get back together. Stop doing this shit.
I think a lot of that is just what's going on inside yourself.
Well, all of it is.
Kim, skip your work call. They don't need you. What I mean is, they need you.
She needs to go be reliable.
But she needs to go be reliable. Go be reliable, Kim.
Go be reliable.
But, yeah. So, number 4 then.
Number 4 is something that cannot be taught. And that's how we bring it in full circle.
You can learn skills. You can learn and you can develop skills and knowledge and learn how to do things. But nobody can teach you how to have domain number 4, which is heart.
Yeah.
What falls under the heart umbrella? I would say passion, compassion, feeling, vulnerability. Heart. Service.
Going the extra mile.
Yep, bending over backwards.
Going the extra mile.
Yeah.
You know, and I wanna tie this into like just this community and the movement that we're building. What will make this movement take over the world? And when people watch this video 5 or 10 years from now, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God! Like I can't believe they've been here this long." It's like, you know, when you meet somebody for the first time, like you think that they just like overnight became successful. But we're gonna take over the world. We've said this 3 years ago. We'll say today. We'll say 3 years from now. And for one, we're super happy and grateful for you guys. We're super happy and grateful to make a positive impact on your life. And we know that the compound effect is just going to keep on doing its thing. But the reason why this movement is going to change the world is because we don't just teach you how to work out. We don't just teach you how to eat properly. You feel our level of care with anything that we do. Whether it's, you know, in the Rise Above workouts, in the Burn Zone workouts, you know, whether it's in the Inner Circle, in the Raw Transformation, and the UTA, it doesn't matter. The reason why you're here is because you feel here something that you haven't felt anywhere else. And you know it.
Home.
And some people may hate us for it, and that's okay. But heart is, I mean, man, it's by the end of the day, it's what makes everything else so different.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who's ever had a remarkable impact on your life, like forget, you know, this right now. Like, why did they have a remarkable impact on your life? It's because they moved you. And there's no way in hell that you can move somebody in a positive way if you can't feel their heart. Because to move somebody, the person moving has to be vulnerable enough for you to be vulnerable enough in order to be pulled in.
Because vulnerability yields permission to be human.
Mm.
When you see, all right, let's think about like the world of social media. It makes it very difficult to trust who's really here for the benefit of other people or only the benefit of themselves. Now, we'd be lying if we said that 0 people, even good people doing amazing, great, helpful, powerful things, have their own intention. Sure, because something has to get you started. So, you know, and for some people that might be a material thing. I want to have the life. You know, I want to have the yacht. I want to have the cars. I want to have the sick house. I want to have, you know, all this stuff. It's not necessarily bad. But there's one thing that really separates and differentiates how you know you can trust somebody is their ability to be vulnerable, their ability to be humble and show you their ability to have empathy and show up when they don't have to so that other people can benefit. So imagine you're scrolling and you see the chick with the bikini with her ass on the car.
Oh my gosh.
Right? Like, why? Like, I just always ask why. Or you see the dude with his Lambo and like the door is open and he's like holding a bunch of money. Yeah. Do you like that more? Or do you like when you see somebody fucking crying because they're sharing their heart? Why? Because one is selfish and the other gives you permission to be a human and know that you're not alone. And that's what we show up to do, is give you permission to be human. Not say, oh, this whole, I am enough. Like, yes, you are, but that doesn't give you an excuse to not try to be better.
To not try to be reliable.
Just as a human being in general. Right? If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. Because as we evolve, we deteriorate in all elements, mentally, physically, right? So if you're not working on getting better, you're getting worse. And so when you see somebody be vulnerable, they're putting themselves, vulnerability is putting yourself in a position to be criticized, injured, hurt, whatever. You're putting yourself in, did anybody see that movie, The Lone Survivor? I think it was called The Lone Survivor. I believe, if I'm have my movies and history and things right, it was based on Lieutenant Michael Murphy, who basically was in a war, walked out on a rock so that the enemies could literally kill him, so that he could get reception to tell the people at whatever base they were at, hey, this is where we are, come save the team. I'm probably going to get shot to death right now, but this is the only place I can get reception. That's vulnerability. And when you when you can see somebody giving you that, even virtually, you can feel it. It feels different, feels real. And now you feel like, wow, for one, I'm not alone. And for two, it's okay that I feel this way. But what do I do to try to get better? Mm-hmm. And I really have no idea why I went off on that tangent, but that's really what we want for you guys. Many of you have seen us be extremely vulnerable. Have to seriously, humble ourselves and come and apologize or express, a hard time. Not because we want pity, but because, for one, it's very important that we're transparent to you guys, because it allows you to trust. If we know we have a solution that's going to help you guys improve your health, improve your confidence in yourself, improve your fitness, improve your finances, improve your relationships, improve your overall quality of life, you need to know we're not perfect. Because you already know that you're not. And you need to see that you can be successful without being perfect. Because that's real life.
That's powerful. I was just going to ask you a question.
I did that with one person in mind.
I know.
Tell me.
Okay, I want to ask you a question.
I'm ready. 17.
For
yellow.
For the sake of just helping maybe some people.
Okay.
So
Swoop in.
depending on whatever culture you got brought up in, I know that there is some cultures where like people are brought up with their parents telling them that they're perfect and they have to be perfect.
Yep. Or indirectly making comments to make them think that.
Yeah, it's like you gotta get straight A's, you gotta be the all-star of this and all of that and all of that. What does that lead to? And what is the conflict that this leads to?
Thinking that you have to be perfect based off of somebody else's worldview.
Yeah.
What does it lead to? Insecurity.
Why?
Because if you have this standard that is ingrained in you that you believe you have to meet, and you constantly struggle to meet that standard, then you fear that you're letting somebody down, and that fear of letting somebody down makes you feel like you can't succeed, and so you become then insecure. I want to look up what insecure means. But what are you getting to?
No, and it's the truth. And I'm thinking about that because with people like that, they are living in turmoil because they can't live their own truth. Because they don't have permission to live their own truth. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I know that in our community, a lot of you guys struggle with this thing called perfectionism. And I wonder where it came from. Maybe, you brought up that way and your parents, had always wanted you to do XYZ. So like in your subconscious, it gets ingrained that you have to be perfect. But the reason why that is nonsense is because having that expectation, be it from an external source or an internal source, leads to lack of truth. And when you lack truth, it's like you're not even able to get past step one. So for anybody who's a perfectionist, it's like, is it any wonder why you have a hard time following through with anything? It's because you haven't given yourself permission to live the truth. Because you're so fixated on this thing that's not true. So the same cycle, right, repeats itself. This, I have to be perfect, but because perfectionism is not a thing, it's a made up thing, you end up keep falling short every single time because you're not living your truth. Now, I believe, just so that we're all on the same page, perfectionism is not a thing, but we should all strive for excellence. I strive for excellence, but I am fully aware of all of my flaws, and therefore I'm working on it. I am aware and I'm committed and I'm consistent. And therefore, I'm on a journey of constantly getting better. But some people have this in their head that I have to be perfect.
And it's like I'm not good enough.
Perfect doesn't mean excellent. Like, if you have to be perfect, you're not even living to your true self.
And you made that shit up, let's be real.
Yeah.
Probably with the help of influences along the way.
Yeah.
There's a really good question asked that I want to address. And forgive me if I pronounce your name wrong. Sarit will probably get it better, but Daryl?
I think it's Daryl.
Maybe it's Daryl? But, the question is, how do you balance vulnerability without complaining or having a negative mindset? Which is a fantastic question, but it's all about how you approach it. So how do you be vulnerable without being negative? There's a difference between saying, woe is me, this is what's going on in my life, feel bad for me, feel sorry for me, give me a hug, and love me, and with no intention to fix it. There's a difference between that and being like really negative and saying, I'm just going to be honest, there's some shit going on. It's really hard for me. You know, I'm committed to learning and figuring out and seeing what the good in this is for me, but this is really hard for me right now. And, you know, I could use some support. I could use some prayers, some help. And, you know, there's a huge difference between like, and it is mindset. So you can be positive and vulnerable. That doesn't mean it's what you're going through is easy. Normally, like vulnerability is you're in a really tough spot. And I always see your face when that happens.
Yeah. Everybody, let's say hi to my mom.
Say hi to Ima. Anyways, so, you know, I hope that answers your question, but there's a very big difference between, you know, hey, I'm really struggling right now. This is really hard for me. I could use some support. And this is happening, and this is happening, and this is happening, and this is happening, and my life is terrible. And I went very extreme on that end. Mm-hmm. And I've been that person too. Let me tell you, like years and years ago, I just wanted people to feel bad for me. So, you know, there's a difference between just wanting people to feel bad for you and being honest about something that's difficult because you know that it's going to help you grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when you were saying this, there was somebody who came to my mind, and I want to give that person a huge shout out because like she has grown so much by accepting vulnerability.
Who? I feel like there's a lot of people like in the inner circle.
There is a lot, but there's one who has done an exceptional job. Melanie O'Connor.
There's a few people running through my mind.
Melanie O'Connor, I mean, man, the amount of growth that you've had, like, it's really like, it fills my heart with gratitude. Like, there's nothing else to say with regards to that. And, you know, like, of course, Melanie is not the only one, but she has really been exceptional with regards to that.
100%.
You know, but
I say Crystal is one. I would say Stephanie is one.
oh my gosh, yeah.
You know, like just so much growth happens when you allow yourself, when you can put yourself in that position to say, I'm not perfect and I could use some help.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
God bless you from my holy land. She's in Israel, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah.
The land of milk and honey. Is that the land of milk and honey?
You know you love that milk in Israel.
The milk in Israel is better than America. I'm just going to say.
Yeah, well, we don't even buy milk here.
But I've had milk from here.
I know. Yeah.
I know what it tastes
like.
like.
The milk there is ish.
All right, so...
And the honey is too. I feel like I had something else to say, but... Were you going to close it out?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just share with you guys one more thing.
Okay.
So, you know, when it comes to a relationship of any kind, you guys, by the end of the day, it's a relationship is an evolution. And now, people other than your family will come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And I truly believe that, you know, it's the people in your life who have all four elements, who are authentic, who speak the truth, who are
reliable,
who generally you're in agreement with. You could disagree with something. There's nothing wrong with a healthy disagreement. It's just how you approach it. Okay, but for the most part, you have similar core values. Okay, people who speak the truth, who have similar core values to yours, who are consistent with the expectation that has been set, depending on the type of relationship it is, and who really go the extra mile. Those are the people who I believe that will last in your life for a lifetime. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because some people have such a hard time letting go of that evolution. So it's like, dude, like, just emotions aside, the reason why so many people struggle with relationships is because it's an emotional process. But there is a way to just, be logical and emotional at the same time. It's like, if somebody is not fulfilling all 4 elements required for you to trust them, then what's the point?
And if they're not expressing forward movement towards improving on those things, you cannot, nobody's perfect, right? So you can be missing one of those elements. Maybe you're not the most reliable person, but if you're showing somebody through your actions that you're making forward progress intentionally to be more reliable, because that's something that you struggle with, then there's a different kind of trust that can be had there, knowing that, hey, I'm actively working on this. I'm very aware, and I'm humble enough to say that this is a weakness of mine.
Yeah.
But I'm working to get better at it.
Yeah. So, this is my point for saying this, is to inspire you that, if you just go through the steps, and let's say you disagree with somebody about something, for one, have a conversation about it. See if there is truth in what they say. If there isn't, then should you even explore any further? But, in my opinion, anything in life can be resolved, especially through people. It's just up to you and to them. And if if you have any relationship in your life that just doesn't even involve the first part, then dude, just don't waste your time. Time is the only resource in life. It's the most valuable resource because it is the only resource that cannot be replenished. A day that's gone is never going to come back. If you invest your money in something, you're going to be able to replenish it. It's a renewable source. If you spend your energy on something, that's going to be replenished. It's a renewable resource. For as long as you're healthy, your energy will be replenished. Okay.
Milk and honey are renewable resources. And your mom gave everybody permission to have milk and honey, but they have to ask you first. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah.
That's that for today. So you guys just follow the steps. Follow the steps. It's that simple, but it's hard because people live their life just unaware of so many things. They're just led by their feelings, living completely unaware. I'm like, no wonder most people in society are lost.
Angie, did you look up how to say hi in Hebrew?
Did she? And aw,
that's so sweet.
That's awesome.
Maybe you already knew how to spell that, or maybe you looked it up. Either way, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
I would like to say we have some exciting things coming up for 2021. And I'm not going to disclose or reveal all information until everything is set in stone, but there is a live event coming up, our very first live event that we will be having. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And it'll be here before you know it. So keep your eyes open and your ears open, because it's something that you're going to be hearing about shortly. Spaces will be limited. That is for sure a thing. And we will give you more information as the details get set in stone.
Mm-hmm. All right, you guys. So before we close this off, just so you guys know, Fridays are interview days. If this is your very first week being on these calls, on Fridays we normally have guest interviews. If you've already been listening or watching this show, then you're aware of that. Tomorrow's conversation will be at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Okay, so if you plan on attending it, please mark it in your calendar. We are going to start the year off so strong because tomorrow's guest speakers are really like special on so many levels. On an individualistic level, they are a couple. So there will be, you know, relationship questions involved. Both of them are like world class, world champions in the triathlon world. Siri Lindley and
Rebecca.
Beck. Her last name is, she's from Australia. Her last name is awesome, but I don't remember it.
Her last name is not awesome, but it's awesome.
Yeah. Siri is on the team with Tony Robbins, so like just by mentioning that name, like you guys can imagine like how many golden nuggets are going to be in tomorrow's conversation. I mean, think about it, like gold medalist with triathlon, Tony Robbins, relationship, and we're going to be talking about how to be seriously authentic.
Seriously.
Yeah, they're very special. We heard them speak, and we're like, we want you on the show.
Yeah, that was like over a year ago we heard them speak. And, you know, so we're going to exchange. Tomorrow's espresso is going to be exchanged. It's not going to be at 6:30. It's going to be at 11. 11 a.m. Pacific time. Slot out about an hour for that. And you know what? Like, this is probably going to be one of the most inspiring interviews to date, simply because of what these women have been through.
Especially in 2020.
Especially, like...
We're going to be vulnerable, but we're not going to be like, woe is me. Like, they can be woe is me all day after you'll hear, like, what they've been through. But they just own their vulnerability with so much courage and strength. And, you know, that's why it's going to be a very moving conversation. So tomorrow, 11 a.m., we will be dropping the link for you guys on the page later this afternoon. So just mark your calendars and we will see you there. Have a great day, you guys.
Bye!